For centuries, the nude human figure has been central to Western European art. In many ways, one of its prime means to narrate stories, express emotions, and convey beauty. The main subject of antique sculpture, the nude was placed again at the center of his art by Michelangelo Buonarroti. Partly inspired by his study of antiquities in his hometown Florence, Michelangelo, like other artists during the Renaissance, spent hours contemplating the models of his predecessors. In particular, the robust sculptural style of two painters, the 14th century painter Giotto and that of the early 15th century Masaccio. The churches where their works could be studied thus became sites of devotion for artists as well as churchgoers, as recorded by a group of works by the young Michelangelo. But Michelangelo was not an artist like others, and his copies were certainly not simple reproductions. No better illustration of this can be found than a drawing recently discovered in a French private collection, of which the central figure is based on the baptism of the neophytes, a fresco painted by Masaccio in the Brancacci chapel in Florence. Probably, Michelangelo drew the figure in 1596, when he was briefly in Florence before going to Rome for the rest of the decade. Arms crossed, shoulders hunched, we recognize in the stance of this nude figure that of the man waiting to be anointed by St. Peter. But Michelangelo has decided to transform the figure into something that corresponded more to his aesthetic, by making him much more robust and monumental, while at the same time keeping the fragility of the figure, who is exposed, both shivering from cold and trembling at the prospect of his conversion. Michelangelo did this by subtly shifting the position of the feet and the legs and redrawing the head, but especially by emphasizing the back and the buttocks of the man and giving him an overall more muscular physique. Not only did Michelangelo add a more defined musculature to this central man, but also the two figures next to him, who bear no relation to those in the fresco. These two figures, drawn in a sketchier style than the central one, recall the ones that can be found in a number of drawings by the artist, usually dated around 1500, among them a sheet in the Tylers Museum in Haarlem. Taken together, these three figures are a first formulation in Michelangelo's oeuvre of the subjects and style on which he will build much of his later work in paint and marble. Not seen on the market since 1907 and unrecognized for centuries as a work by Michelangelo's hand, a nude man and two figures behind could have remained in the wings of art history. If today the drawing returns to the sale room, it is to better find its place in the world.